So sorry for interrupting the previous video, but my old iPhone was running out of battery and out of storage, and I did not want to risk an important video which I was able to record. But now I can resume and conclude my message reading by email and by recording on my new phone, and see what is so arrogant about my email. So yes, said I you dare to lie. Okay, I'm just reading from the beginning. Please tell me why I do have to go through all this repair time to backup, restore and document every single issue in detail every time I send it to repair. All of this heavily disrupts my work and schedule, and well, I assume that every customer which sends its device multiple times, for every such customer this is a fair complaint, because well, it takes time to backup, then it takes time to restore, then for every issue, especially issues which are not common and kind of complicated to describe, to record, to reproduce, but they do happen and they do affect our performance when working and using these devices. For every such customer, this is a valid issue. It takes time to document, and then we face people like the service technicians from Creative Center who are negligible and incompetent, and then these technicians say, no, we do not reproduce any of the issues. Well, that's because you're incompetent, and I'm a very arrogant person for telling you the truth. See how hard it was to reproduce such an issue. The laptop was working during the night. Now I have a stuck space bar. I don't know. Why does it have to be like that? Why can't you just see the video evidence and the documents provided by me or any other customer as proof, and just consider something is wrong on this device? Why don't you just try to follow what you see on the video as an example, step by step, easy to reproduce the same scenario and repeat the issue? Maybe you want to hide something. Maybe there are some defects, I don't know, maybe there's software, maybe hardware, maybe firmware issues with this device, but this device does not operate correctly. When I leave it, I expect that it will sleep. It's not charging, there is no sane reason for this device to stay awake up all night. The battery has been depleting slowly during the night. See, it's been on battery for 8 hours. This is the period when I use the device, and here it has been with screen off, and apparently it didn't sleep. Preventing sleep, no applications, no good reason for this. Energy saver, configure to sleep after 2 minutes. That's it. Running on battery 3:48 AM. And here's my serial number. Anyway, back to the email. So backup, restore, send it to repair, all this documentation. Now all of this heavily disrupts my working schedule. This is a very expensive device, Mr. Bordeaux. Broken charger, firmware issues, frequent keyboard issues, a swollen battery and more keyboard issues. Not to mention entering sleep when the battery is depleted. Now I just added also not sleeping during the night if I leave it without a charger. So here is one more issue, and now scratch on the top case. Oh man, let me try to make a better light for this. Okay, there it is. See, this scratch on the top case. Now, and if you actually record this under poor lighting conditions, there is no scratch. And if you actually go to Mr. Bordeaux, so he sent me a proof that there is no scratch. Look, from his angle there is no scratch. Amazing. But this does not prove that there was no scratch, because it actually depends on the light conditions, and it actually depends on the angle. And there is a scratch. It's a permanent scratch left from the negligible people who work in Creative Center, probably Stoyan Bordeaux himself. And now they're doing their best to hide their expensive mistakes, but I digress. So where was the scratch? I did. It should be earlier. Okay. I'll scratch on the top case. And you dare to lie, to hide your negligence, and throughout all these incidents, your team did its best to avoid providing me with a permanent solution despite the obvious facts. MacBook Pro 2018 has hardware issues by design, and the keyboard is also terrible and covered by the replacement program for a good reason. I did try to carefully clean the scratch and using a fresh microfiber cloth. Okay, maybe I should show what I'm using. So this is what I'm using to clean the laptop. Looks very nice. And this also. With a bit of display cleaning liquid on it, and it's not dirty, it's a scratch, it cannot be removed. This is obvious on the video and picture I provided in my previous letter. I have seen negligible handling from your service during the previous repairs, where, for example, the paper that should be seated between display and keyboard was outside of the clamshell. Yep. normally when the laptop comes new, it comes with this paper, and every time I send it for repair, I put it carefully, close the laptop, ship it to them, and then I also put it inside of this. However, when I receive the laptop, they return it like this. That's why this is so smashed and ugly, because they didn't preserve it, and then this remains on the bottom, which risks of scratching the screen, and also normally there is, when shipping a device from one city to another during purchase or during repair, there is a special box for transportation, and the original MacBook box goes inside the transportation box and is then shipped. And every time I noticed that, because there is a serial number on the side of the box, and originally it matched the serial number of my laptop. However, every time I receive it back from the service, it has a different serial number. And the last time I received this, see, Creative Center, 14th of October 2020. The laptop was packed like this, and I've talked with people from Speedy and people who are supposed to ship items, and so there is a rule that you should not ship items without in a transparent box. They should be within some cover which is not transparent, so this is not according to rules the way they ship the device. Not sure why they did not send it with the box for transportation, but this is wrong. How did they call them? Educated certified technicians, outstandingly. Oh man. Lies after lies after more lies. No. I was talking about the paper that should be seated between display and keyboard was outside of the clamshell. So this was during the previous repair, and I was very surprised because in this last repair they actually took care to put this paper inside and to put the laptop inside the other cover, and then they send it inside of this. Not sure why. Anyway, my huge surprise, for the very first time you did insert it properly. And even the plastic wrap was placed very carefully. Surprisingly, suspiciously carefully, as to cover for the disappointment to find the top case scratched. I should also note that the angle from which you take the picture plays an important factor on the visibility of the scratch. You see my picture and video have been taken from a highly tilted angle and good lighting conditions, whereas you take the picture from an it's hard to find. Whereas yours is made with almost straight top under poor light conditions, and from your side it is possible, and from this side it is not possible to see the scratch. I can see a good reason for you to blame the courier in order to hide your expensive mistakes. So basically they scratched my device, then they tried to blame the transportation courier service, or they tried to blame me. I don't know what they're trying to do, but they are just trying to avoid paying for their mistakes, and they are trying to avoid providing a permanent solution for this laptop, which is known for its bad keyboard. It's not only keyboard, a swollen battery, not sleeping, firmware issues. Oh man, this is not correct. Every other company would have helped me resolve this once and for all and compensated me for my issues, but this guy tortured me. I do not believe the courier company has any good reason to open the lid. Oh, I forgot to mention that the new laptop originally came in a special outer box which makes shipping safer. This box also had a serial number printed on it, matching my laptop's. Then during some of the following repairs, I noticed that the serial number was for another device. To my huge surprise, this time you shipped my laptop without that box, using only a plastic wrap, which is very bad thing to do when shipping an expensive items. Furthermore, this breaks the rule that packages must be in a non-transparent box so that people handling them cannot see what is inside. In your packing, it was obvious that this is an Apple laptop. Mr. Bordeaux of Apple is a company known for its very high standards when it comes to the way their hardware looks and the unboxing experience feels. I'm afraid your repair service needs to raise its standards. Your team is not able to follow detailed reports to observe issues documented in such precise details that even a child can reproduce them, but you rather prefer blaming the customer or stating that the hardware passes all tests that are only designed to detect well-known issues and are not conclusive in any way. If the device was fine, I would not take the hit on my work to send it for repair in first place, and every time I did so was after being asked by either Apple support or executive relations. And here's some videos I sent to them. So this is a picture from their angle, and on this picture it will not be visible, the scratch will not be visible. Then the video that starts from their angle, then moves from tilted angle and shows the scratch and then the packaging. But yeah, the current video demonstrates all of this. So yeah, this is my extremely arrogant behavior for these smart, educated, certified technicians that outstandingly do their job so well that, well, I never want to do anything with Creative Center. I want to end my relationship with them once and for all. This laptop has to go to the trash and I want a full refund because, well, it's been 4 repairs already, and according to law they are not supposed to make any more repairs. They are supposed to refund me and take me out of this misery. It's been such a hard time working with you guys, and yeah, I hope that I never meet people who are so incompetent and so bad towards me as a customer. Every other company I had any issues with hardware actually did its best until this moment. I'm very pleased with them, and whenever there was any repeated hardware issue, they said, okay, we got you, we see this is faulty by design. We are going to stand by your side and help you. Here are your options. You can select any other compatible device. Would it be okay if it's more expensive and you pay some extra money to get, for example, another motherboard for your computer or another video card? And I say, yeah, look, that's fine. All I want is a device that works without any issues, so I'll cover that difference, no problem. Then I have a working device. I'm a happy customer, and I'll happily buy from them again. But Creative Center, I'm done with you. I'm never buying from this bad company ever again in my life. That's a promise. Such a disappointment. Not sure why you're being like this with me as a client who is an engineer who documents everything in a lot of details. Say, I've heard that actually people who are not competent to do their job well, and since they cannot resolve the issues, they evolve in a way that they try to prove the other side wrong. They try to hide their mistakes, and I believe this is a good example, Mr. Bordelov. And a message to Yulian Mirchev: please make sure that your other customers have a better experience than I do, and make sure to watch and observe more carefully your team of technicians who work on the repair service, because there is a lot more to be desired and they are not as smart, educated, and outstanding as you think they are. Well, that's all for today. This is all going to YouTube. My channel for experiences like this is called Software Anti-Experience. Obviously, I'm expanding with hardware anti-experience and also dealing with bad repair services like Creative Center. To anyone watching these videos, my advice: buy from anywhere else. Any other company will provide better experience than Creative Center. You cannot imagine all of the torture they put me through and all of the time I lost, all of the nerves, all the time I spent to document everything, to film it, to provide materials to them in hope that this will make their work easier, so that they, okay, I will waste my time, I will help them do their job more easily. Instead, they disregard all these materials. They say everything is fine with my device. Yeah, sure. It's fine. It makes no click, but it's fine. It still works. Okay, now it started working. Man, I should not have done this. I should have left it like this. Now it works fine. But I have it on video. Well, that's it. Such a disappointment. This hasn't been working. I recorded it on a few videos, and now by demonstrating it, yeah, I was able to demonstrate it. It's not working. Now it started working. I hope they still value the video material. Let me show the timestamp.